We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
David. David previously let us know that he had ordered a 135-inch screen for his theater build. Turns out, 135 inches is a really big screen. Now, Rob, show the picture. Are you showing the picture?
Yes, it's coming up here. So I'll show the old pictures. This was a house that he was buying. So he first had the sort of MLS listing pictures. This is a basement room. It's got this sort of what do you call it? Tongue and groove style hanging ceiling. So it's a little bit of a low ceiling going on. So yeah, Lee and I discussed this, but now he's sent in a newly updated photo. He just put together the frame of his screen, so you know there's no fabric there. You can see through it, and he's got up against one of the walls, and it is taken up a wall.
Yeah, this is a I did not measure before I ordered situation, and that's okay, dude, because we all get in the situation. But you can see, he will not be able to watch anything subtitled because his center channel would be in the way, and it will block out at least most of the important parts of the naked scenes of most movies, based on where he's got everything set up right now. So he's got some issues here. Combined with what turned out to be an only 6'10" ceilings, which is very small, makes it so big that it takes up almost the entire front wall, which we have just seen. So, any thoughts on how and where he is supposed to mount his BenQ 2050 projector? Man, my first question was, where am I going to put my center channel? But okay.
Well, that's coming up later. But first, I wanted to address, because when he first wrote to us, and Lee and I discussed this, he was saying that he was thinking of making the front wall the opposite wall to what's being shown in the photo that we're seeing now. So we're looking at this one where it's sort of in front of this small little window and what looks to be the electrical panel behind there. But previously, he was saying to have it on the opposite side of the room, where there's a little bit of a soffit coming down, and then sort of like some built-in benches, and he was thinking of sort of hanging the screen in front of all of that, or having like a slightly false wall construction. So I'm not entirely sure why that plan changed, and I'm wondering if maybe the original plan of having somewhat of a false wall in front of that benches and that little soffit might actually work a little bit better. But either way, when it comes to mounting the BenQ projector, it's not going to make much of a difference, because there's a certain range that it needs to be in distance from the screen to the lens of the projector has to be a certain distance, and then the height is also very limited. So I can sort of delve into all of that if you'd like.
It's anytime you're ready, dude. We're all waiting with bated breath here. So where's he?
All right, so he has a 135-inch diagonal screen. The lens for the BenQ HD 2050. So remember, we're talking about the lens, the front of the projector, then there's the body of the projector behind that. But the lens needs to be anywhere from 11 feet 3 inches at the closest to 14 feet 8 inches. Now, that's not an unreasonable range. He was thinking about sitting about 12 feet away from this anyway. So you could actually have it a little bit in front of you, a little bit behind you, directly overhead. You have a little bit of latitude there. But the lens needs to be anywhere from 11 feet 3 inches to 14 feet 8 inches in order to cast a 135-inch diagonal screen size. Then, on the height side of things, it has actually a little bit of vertical lens shift, which is really nice, but it also has some lens offset. So this is always confusing whenever you see lens offset, because they give you some percentage number and you're like, what in the heck does that mean? So the lens offset, because there is this little bit of vertical lens shift, is anywhere from 105% to 115% of the height of the image that's being thrown. Now, what that means is that the center line of the lens actually needs to be, we're talking about a ceiling mount. Mm-hmm. So the projector's up on the ceiling. The center line of the lens actually needs to be 5 to 15% above the top edge of the screen. All right, so the projector actually has to be a little bit higher than the screen. In this case, with those numbers, with a 135-inch screen, it needs to be anywhere from 3.3 inches to 9.9 inches higher than the physical top edge of the screen. Now,
Which makes
if you
this
have a
even worse.
3.5, yeah, it makes it even worse. If you have a 3.5-inch frame, say, or a 3-inch frame, then more or less the center line of the projector needs to be in line with the top edge of the frame. All right. But then you still have basically half the height of the projector above that, because it's the center line of the frame, plus whatever you need to mount it to the ceiling. Now, there are what they call, a flush mount, ceiling mount,
He's
or
gonna
an
need a
ultra
flush
low
mount.
profile.
I mean, I'm looking at this right now.
Yeah.
This frame is on the ground, and if there's 10 inches above that frame, I'd be surprised. I mean, it looks like there's 10 inches. There might be 11, but not much more than that. So we're basically talking. I mean, this thing is basically, you're gonna nail it to the ceiling, dude. You're gonna have to.
Yeah,
and this thing's gonna be on the ground. This is what your
the
screen's
ultra
look
low
like.
profile mount is 2.5 inches deep.
And then you got all the
then you need another.
Yeah.
You need another 3.5 inches for the lens offset, plus half the height of the projector, which is another 3.5 inches or so. So you're talking in the range of about 8.5 inches is realistically the top edge of your screen. Realistically needs to be about 8.5 inches below the ceiling. Which, yeah, I mean, that you're gonna mount this screen as high as you, or no, not as high as you possibly can. You're gonna mount the projector as high as you possibly can. The screen won't have to be right on the ground. It's gonna be kind of close. I mean, we are talking about the top edge of the screen itself, not the frame.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit there, but the top edge of the screen itself.
You'll maybe
needs to
get
be
on
about
top of that
8.5
molding.
inches below this.
How about that? You'll get it on top of the molding.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You should get a little bit more than that. But,
Not much.
Yeah,
Not
this is
much.
gonna be squishy. This is gonna be squishy, dude.
All right. So since the screen is acoustically transparent, his only option is to put the center speaker on the floor and angle it up with wedges of some kind? No. Not unless you're going to move it way out into the middle of the room so that it's not blocking your sightlines. I mean, with something as big as what you're looking at here. Okay, first of all, you need to send it. Can you return it? Can you return the screen? Can you take it apart and put it back in the box and send it back? Because this screen is too big. And I very rarely say that, but seriously, dude,
if it were acoustically transparent,
you have options.
That might work.
Yes.
That might work then. You're basically taking up your whole darn front wall, but that's okay because the speakers can go behind it.
Yeah. I'd hate it from I just put like little chains or whatever and just hook it to the ceiling right in front of everything and put all your speakers behind it. But it's not. It's acoustically transparent.
Honestly, I'd go with a phantom center in this case.
I completely agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. There's no point. Your speakers are as wide as they could possibly be. No one's sitting anywhere but in between the two speakers, really. So
that's right.
Why have a center channel at this point? It's just going to look weird. It really is. It's going to look weird.
And it's going to sound weird too.
It is because it's going
to be so low.
Yeah.
It's going to sound
all right. So
phantom center.
Oh, is that the end of his question? That's it? No. This can't be the end. No. Okay. So what you really should do is you should send the screen back, buy a smaller screen, like 92 inches. Move your chairs up off the back wall a little bit because I think they're on the back wall, right? Move your chairs up.
No, because he's got like a 23-foot long room.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he wanted to sit like 12 feet away from the screen. But it was, again, I'm not quite sure why he flipped which wall he's using, because things actually worked out nice acoustically when he had that false wall idea, because then 12 feet back put him like 2/3 of the way to the room, because there was going to be this like 2.5-foot false wall up front. Whereas now he'll almost be dead center in the room, which isn't great acoustically. So again, I'm not quite sure why the wall on which this is going to be placed got flipped. But either way, that doesn't change the height of the thing. So
yeah, it's really, I don't know, dude. Let us know what you really want to do, what you're planning on doing about this. I'd be curious to see where you end up.
100-inch screen from 10 feet away would be all right. So
yeah, just cheat the chairs forward a little bit and 100 inches, and I think you'd be all right. Or just move the screen a little bit forward. Just move it forward, or get a drop screen. The drop screens are sexy.
Yeah.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.